Hey, what's up guys? Nav here again with another video. Today's video is going to be a little different than the past few videos. It's not going to be a cryptocurrency video. It's actually going to be a stock market investing video based on the Canadian marijuana sector. So today's video is basically going to show a new investor my method of properly investing in the Canadian marijuana sector. For those of you who don't know, marijuana is currently illegal in Canada, recreational use. Medical use is legal. But as of July 1st, recreational use will be legal. So this is a great opportunity for licensed producers or people who are looking to get into the marijuana industry. Now is the time to do so. In my opinion, the marijuana sector in Canada, the stock market of it, is much similar to cryptocurrencies, but a safer bet. Cryptocurrencies, they go up by double digits every day, and then they decrease by double digits. So with the marijuana sector, we still see those 7 to 19% gains a day. Sorry about that. 7 to 19% gains a day, but the losses aren't as big. You see losses of maybe 4%, 5% on a bad day or something like that, unless you're playing the more volatile ones, of course. So let's hop right into this. I'm going to first explain to you guys a little bit about the sector, and then I'm going to show you my picks for the sector and etc. We'll see how this goes. So as we approach legalization, the demand for marijuana as a recreation will be so high that the suppliers currently will not be able to supply the demand. So that means that Canada has to allow new licensed producers and grant them their licenses in order to supply the demand that's going to happen. So as we see, if we look at this map, there's 47 in Ontario and 18 in British Columbia. Those are the two main provinces that marijuana is coming out of right now, a total of 84. So Ontario has more than half of them. British Columbia has a large majority because of their growing capabilities, their landscape, their geography. But knowing that Ontario has 47 is good for us because the Ontario government is going to favorite Ontario producers. So this is something to keep in mind when you're investing, and that you should always have one or two Ontario producers in your portfolio because of the favoritism that they're going to receive. The government's going to grant them more money. The government's going to want to buy from local producers instead of buying from out of province like BC or somewhere. So that's good to keep in mind, knowing that this is where the majority of the producers are. If you look at the list, not all of these are on exchanges. Actually, majority of them actually aren't, but the big ones are. So the big ones reside one out of Alberta, one out of British Columbia, and one out of Ontario, I believe. Yes, one of Ontario. So that's actually good. So we have one big player in Ontario, and that is Ontario's Aphria. So the way I look at this, guys, is the best way to maximize your profit in this market, in this sector right now, is to buy one or two of the big three. So I've got this list here. The big three consist of Weed, which is Canopy Growth. They are out of British Columbia. Aurora Cannabis, which is out of Alberta, and Aphria, which is out of Quebec, I believe. I'm not really sure. I can check right now. They're out of Ontario, sorry, yeah. So I did say that earlier. So those are the big three. These are the biggest three market caps in Canada right now. Weed being the highest at, I believe, that's a good question. It is a market cap of 8.03 billion. So that's a large amount, actually. The rest are smaller. Aphria is quite undervalued right now, in my opinion, but I'll get into that later. So the way I look at this, guys, is this list is compiled of my top picks for Canadian marijuana-related stocks. So you have your big three, you have your value addition. So your value addition companies are companies that are second chain to the big producers. They're the companies that would extract the oil or market the product, or they have something of value to add to these big three. So in Radiant Technology, RTI, their technology is they extract oils from seeds or plants. So they've partnered with Aurora Cannabis, both out of Alberta actually, and they extract the oil for Aurora and then they give it back to Aurora to sell. Similar process is done with ATT. Namaste is N, and they are a marketing sort of cannabis company that sells products. Here is a list of Alberta producers, Ontario producers, and British Columbia producers. So in order to maximize your portfolio and see the most gains out of this sector, the things you want to do is pick one, if not two, of the big three, because these are stable bets. So you pick, let's say you pick Aphria. That's what I have in my portfolio because I think it's the most undervalued right now and has the most potential to grow. The safest bet is, of course, Canopy Growth, which is weed, as they're the market leader in Canada right now. So you want to pick one or two of these. I'd say you want to put about 40% of your money into this. So 40% of your investment goes into this. And then you have, let's go down to these. You want to pick one from each province. One or more, depends how much money you have, but you want to invest a decent amount into each of these. These are companies, the ones listed here, are ones that aren't going to go under right now. They're stable companies and they've got good potential ahead of them. In Alberta, Aurora Cannabis has just been acquiring these smaller licensed producers like crazy. They're buying and buying every week. It's insane what they're doing. I currently think they're a little overvalued for what they are right now, but that doesn't stop them from continuing to see gains that are insane for this industry. So that's what I hold in my portfolio right now is Aurora, but I've been in them for a while now. Ontario, I hold Aphria. So the ones highlighted, guys, are the ones that I own right now. Aphria is, in my opinion, the strongest valued company right now, or undervalued, sorry, strongest undervalued. They have such a large potential to go. They're far behind these two, but if not, they're like pretty close to Aurora in capabilities. So I believe Aphria is gonna skyrocket here soon. If not, it already has by the time you're watching this video. The rest of these producers are smaller ones. You can find them. You can do your own research, but they're small and they're more volatile than the stable ones like Aphria. In British Columbia, I hold Emerald Health. I've been holding them for a while, but they also another good option is Doja Cannabis, which I believe is partnered with Aphria in some way, and Aphria is releasing their earnings tomorrow, Wednesday the 10th, I believe it is. Yeah, Wednesday the 10th of January, and if they announce some sort of plan with Doja, then we can see their price increase as well. So if you're new to this industry, you want to sink 40% of your money into this, into one of the big three, so either weed, Aphria, or Aurora. You then want to sink 20%, 20% about into one of the value-adding producers. So this is a more volatile market, I guess, per se. These stocks go up and down. They're crazy. But the safe ones are RTI and I'd say MPX are the safest bets you got right now. Namaste is very volatile, and it shoots up 30% and it goes down 20%. It's much like a crypto, in my opinion. So you want to put 20% of your money into that, and then you got 40% left. So then you want to split it up equally. So whether you want to have at least one from each of these three provinces. So you want to have one from Alberta, one from Ontario, and one from British Columbia. If you're already going with Aphria from the big three, you don't necessarily need to do another Ontario because Aphria is going to see most of the revenue anyways. So you maybe then want to double up on British Columbia or Alberta. I would suggest British Columbia. So you've got 60% here, and you want to divide the rest of your money up between these three provinces. That's how I would divide my portfolio, and that's how I've been seeing the gains I've been seeing. So if we hop onto here, this is my Questrade platform. Currently, I use Questrade only for short-term trades in this industry. I have a different platform that I use for long-term holds that I've been holding. So right now, as you guys can see, this is my watch list. I watched these, and as you guys see, like 17% today. Oh, that's not what I wanted. 17% today, 15% today, and the decreases are only what, 2%, 5%. They're not very high, maybe 10%, but this stock went up 30% yesterday, so that's not a big surprise. But it's crazy, guys. Like, the amount of returns I've seen from this sector is insane. I'm up 420%, I believe, now in just 3.5 months, which is absolutely insane. And people may say, like, oh, I could do that in 2 weeks in cryptocurrency. Yeah, you could, but you could also lose all that money in cryptocurrency. These are safer bets. They're not going to go to zero very often. Like, maybe smaller producers, maybe. But if they have their license, they're not going to go to zero. It's just simple concept here. And if you guys do look at getting into new producers that are coming on the market, that's also a good idea too. As soon as a producer gets their license from the government of Canada, their stock skyrockets immediately. This sector is basically news-based. So seeing a company get their license is a good thing to note. And if you know of a company that's applying for their license or in the process, then you might want to consider investing in them. Even if it's just for the short term, you could easily see 20% gains, no doubt in my mind. If you guys absolutely know nothing about the weed industry or nothing about cannabis in Canada, I would suggest checking out r/weed stocks on Reddit. There's a daily discussion, which is very, very beneficial if you understand it properly, I guess. There's a lot of people trying to pump certain stocks on here, but there's also a lot of good information. So it's just about how well you filter this information. It basically changes every day what these people are trying to pump, but overall, there is some good news to be seen here, as well as if you just do r/weed stocks, lists of news that's happened in the day all comes up here. It's great if you are not good at research. Yeah, guys, so I would suggest getting into the marijuana sector in Canada. You've got approximately 118 days of trading left before legalization, and I think easily any of these stocks could gain you 40% at least. That's almost a guarantee. I would guess that any stock here you could gain 40%. You know, that may be ambitious for something like Canopy or Aurora, but any of the smaller ones that you look into, like Harvest or Aphria, Emerald Health, Emerald Health, easily 40% I could see before legalization, and I'm already up 150% on some of these. Like, it's insane. So if you guys are interested, go check out some of these stocks or some of the ones listed in this list here. I'll try and include a document list in the description, but you guys can do your own research. You could just look this up and then see for yourself. I will be doing more videos on the stocks that I trade in this industry just because some people have requested it, and it's just such a profitable industry right now. It's so safe compared to cryptos, but the profits, like, you know, 3/4 of what cryptos are, so it's not a bad return by any means. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, I'll leave a Questrade link in the bio in case you want to open up a Questrade account, as well as I will try and include this document down there as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll be back with another one.